Hey guys, Misha, aka the Silky Savage here with Building Beats. Building Beats is a music educational nonprofit that services youth in after-school programs, community centers, and homeless shelters throughout New York City. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make an Afrobeats Burna Boy Type Beat using Soundtrap. Okay, so let's listen to the beat first. Okay, cool. So I created this short little beat. It's only about 2 minutes, and as you probably noticed, the sections aren't super duper long, just so I can demonstrate what's going on here. So first let's talk about what's going on in our rhythm section, and I'm going to drag up my two drum kits to the top. So first off, we have our Latin kit, and the sound that's playing currently, I'll show you guys. If I split this up, you'll be able to see it. It's on the rim shot, and it's sort of emulating the Latin clave instrument. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Bop 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 bop. That's just the 3/2 clave rhythm. If you guys are familiar with Latin rhythm, that means 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. And you can see it in this pattern. And that's going on the entire time, and I just have a little bit of reverb on that. And that's all that's happening there. And this is pretty consistent through most forms of Afro beats. And then we have our drum kit. So I just have a hi-hat on each quarter note, 1, 2, 3, 4. A snare on the of 1, the and of 2, and the and of 4, and a kick on 1, and then a kick on a 3 and. The cool thing about this is if we go back and we take a look at our clave, it's important to notice how these two patterns line up to emphasize this rhythm. So the snare in our drum pattern is hitting both of the more aggressive parts of the 3 side of the clave, so it's hitting on the of 1 and the and of 2. And the only thing that's really living its own life is the snare hit a little bit later. And we also see the kick lining up with the and of 3, which is what we have going on with the beginning of the 2 side of the clave. And when I say 3/2, that means there's 3 and then 2 hits, dividing up the bar. So that that's why these rhythms are working well together. And now when I actually go, that's what's happening during the chorus. Now when I go over to the verse component, if I take a list, let's take a listen to this right here. If you take a look at this, once again, now it says other, and it's like a kind of some kind of like clacky sound. You'll notice that once again that 3 side lines up, and it doesn't quite line up with the 2 side, but there's still a hit to give it a little punctuation. And that happens. That's the verse part. Goes back to the chorus. Well, I take the same drum beat from the chorus in the verse, and there's a little thing at the end, which is pretty much the same part as the beginning of this verse. And at the end, I have another snare hit just to punctuate the finale. All right, now let's move on to our melodic and harmonic stuff. So right here, we have our kalimba. Now the kalimba is like a hand piano type thing, and it's made of a bunch of metal bars that are resonating on a piece of wood. So let's look at what's being played here, though. So let me. So that's 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and that's G minor, C minor, D minor, back to G minor in the lower octave. Pretty simple stuff, just happens during the chorus, and I have it on 2-bar loop. Now let's take a look at our bass. Right here I have the clean sub, just a nice subby sound. And now I have 3 different parts going on for the bass. So in the beginning it's doing half notes. And the final bar of that. And I just used the clean sub just because I just wanted a nice, fat, simple sound. Afrobeats is really about the sparseness, more so than, not to be confused with Afrobeat, the Fela Kuti style, which tends to be super duper dense. Afrobeats, or modern Afrobeats and Burna Boy's, that style tends to be sparser, with the defining elements being the specific rhythmic movement. So I've just chosen this simple sound. So G, C, D, G. So similar to the chorus, and then at the turnaround I've chosen to do G, C, D, and it goes to an E flat right at the end. Okay, and then the chorus, G, C, D, E flat, and then it does that twice, and then the turnaround is G, C, B flat, C, B flat, G. So the rhythm is 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, So it's very heavily syncopated. She just gotta love. And then the verse. The verse is 1E and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1E and a 2 and a 1E and a 2, and it's just pretty much G the entire time, with the E occurring on the if we zoom in on that, it's occurring on the of the second measure of the phrase. Okay? And then the last bar. 1 E ended, 2 E and a 3, and that 3. It's just B flat. And then it goes back to the same thing during the chorus. Now, we have this really cool lo-fi upright piano with playing some sort of complicated stuff. Now this is a new effect that I think Soundtrap just added, new plugin. So let's talk about what's going on here. So you have, it's G minor 9, but without the 7. I should add it in there. It sounds nice, but G minor 9 over D. And then the little melodic thing is like C, B flat, A, G minor 9. And then going back. A, B flat, C. And then it just plays the chord again. Now, what about the chorus? B flat A. And then that little melodic line is B flat, C, B flat, A, G, A. Now let's take a look at the effects that we have on here. Just some vibrato, that's what gives it its characteristic wobble. And then during the verse, it changes slightly. Pretty much just playing the same chord an octave up. And doing that, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, but an octave up. But the end is just a little bit different. So it goes that G minor over D, E flat D. Then you have E flat and F. It's almost like a sort of implying that F dominant 7, which would make sense. And it goes back to the same thing for the chorus. And then the only element that I put on here that you won't be able to achieve unless you either have a guitar player or you chop up some of Soundtrap's internal loops is I've added this little guitar part because a lot of Burna Boy stuff has a guitar on it. But before I actually break that down harmonically, we should talk about the effects. So just to break that chain down, I got a compressor into a chorus, into a vibrato, it's being filtered and fed into a reverb. And I'm just playing high octave. I'm just playing upper octave G, B flat, G, A, G, A, G. And then the the second half during when the chorus kicks in. D, F, D, F, D, C, B flat. And you can hear it go back up to the G right there. And then it has a G minor chord at the beginning of the verse. And then it returns to the same thing for the chorus and the subsequent outro. Now, it's a fairly simple part, but it's very, I guess the term would be vibey. And that's what we're kind of going for. We're going for simple and vibey, and we're letting a lot of the real meat of the song be carried through the rhythmic elements that have been presented. And, you know, we want to leave a lot of space because it's really important that the vocal bounces on this tune. But that's it. That's like a basic, super basic breakdown of an Afrobeats Burna Boy type beat in Soundtrap. Once again, my name is the Silky Savage with Building Beats. If you dug this video, you can check us out online on our website, buildingbeats.org. We're also on all social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, @BuildingBeats. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you're interested in learning more about Soundtrap, you can check out some of our other tutorials. Happy beat making, y'all.